What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Angle of Pursuit podcast, fantasy football, DFS, and sports betting home here on Thursday nights. With me, as always, Bobby Adcock. What's up, Bobby?
Hello, Kyle. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Just enjoying the multitude of options we have for sports viewing. Obviously, NFL, college football, baseball playoffs, hockey starting, basketball's around the corner. It's a great time to be a sports fan. There's so much to enjoy, and I'm just sitting back and enjoying every minute of it.
It's overwhelming. It really is.
It
And
really is.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my head to turn next. So, I think what I'm going to try to do is just try to get through this
Yeah.
and see if I can stay focused. So,
I won't blame you if you get a little head turn because the playoffs are going in extra innings, or if the Patriots are getting another touchdown, or hockey's going crazy. I mean, there's just so much. And the thing that makes it all the best is we get to gamble on this stuff. We get to put our money where our mouth is, say what we think, and follow it. And Bobby, we had a really nice week last week. I think we're seeing the board well. I think we're getting a feel for this league, and I think we're headed in the right direction. So I went 2-0-1, which thanks to a doinked field goal late by the Rams. Although there was some questionable calls, and they made Adam Thielen go out on a play where, he kind of, I guess, I don't know. I'm all for player safety, but I don't know they necessarily needed to go out of the game. Vikings ended up getting a push. The Patriots covered with ease. I knew that was happening, and it looks like they might do that again tonight. And then the Broncos held on Monday night for Cover Town. So 2-0-1, and you went to 2-1. So hit me with your plays and kind of your thoughts from last week.
well, I mean, first of all, I mean, Kyle, do you really feel good about the Vikings +7 pick now that you see what happened? I mean, do you feel? I know it pushed and it's fine, but do you feel like you made the right call there?
No, but I do feel better because
It worked.
I followed one of your plays on Sunday myself, and it ended up, and I took those Cincinnati Bengals, and it was a wild ride, but they got to Cover Town as well, so I was very happy. 3-0-1 on the weekend.
Well, yeah, and so so that was what Cincinnati. I think I had them. I think the line actually ended maybe at +3.5. Maybe
Yeah,
it would have ended
it
at.
dropped pretty
Um,
good, but that's the nice thing about trying to get in this early is we can get hopefully the best of the number and not end up scraping by like that.
yeah, and so but anyway, they kind of played through. I think like we were hoping to anticipate is that Atlanta defense kind of saw some attrition and it kind of caught up with them, and Dalton made a great game winning drive with our friend Tyler Boyd, as we
Yep.
talked about.
Yep. We're gonna have to
So
build a shrine or get jerseys or something. Like Tyler Boyd's been really good to us thus far.
yeah, it's a big Tyler Boyd house here. So uh, and I went along with I was trying to adopt Indy as my. I adopted the Bucks, and that kind of worked out for like a week, and then I tried to move on after what happened to Fitzmagic, and I was gonna try to maybe put up the Colts for adoption as my team, and that just didn't work out. I mean, as much as I would have liked to say, oh, they were in at the end, they were down really quickly, and they were down by double digits, and they ended up coming back, but. Anyway,
Yeah,
they
they should have covered that. That's a game that maybe it got a little weird, but they had a I don't know that game. Like I felt like the Colts, and then I felt like, oh, here comes the Texans, they're gonna dominate, and then here comes the Colts again, and then now we're gonna go to overtime, and then they end up going for it. Like I'm all for it because as a Titans fan, I was very happy to see Vrabel go for it and get the win against the Eagles. But you when you get that, you're the hero, and when you don't get that, you get ridiculed.
Yeah, so it was a ridiculous game, but whatever. They ended up that was not a cover, but that's fine. But then I had my magical money line parlay that basically I said I would probably ban myself from the podcast, and maybe I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not come out of my apartment for a month or something like that. Because if this lost, I don't know what's going on. But it ended up winning. Which, by the way, the Chargers were the one team.
Yep, the Niners. They really tried to make out a game. They really did. And if they didn't have that magical turnover at the end, they might have not only covered but won the game. And that game was crazy.
And we're gonna get to the Chargers later, so let's just keep moving.
All right, let's jump into our plays this week. And Bobby, I'll take the T since I went 2-0-1 instead of 2-1. And I am going with a little off the board play. I've done this once already this season. I'm going to go with a total, and I'm going to go with the under in the Redskins-Saints game. In the total is 53. Obviously, the Saints are offensive powerhouse. They can score with the best of them. Redskins have looked much better at home. But I like the under in this game. Drew Brees is traditionally not the same guy when he's not in a dome. Mark Ingram is back this week. I expect him to get volume. I expect him to get workload. I think this is a game where the Saints try and run the ball. I think this is a game where Washington tries to run the ball and keep Drew Brees and company off the field. It may take a little sweat. It may be a little stressful. It may be a little close. But I think under 53 is the right side to be on.
Yeah, you're kind of these under things you're throwing out. You keep doing these things, and it's making me uncomfortable. I don't like totals, but you give good reasons. I get it. It's fine, but it's a little bit dirty. And okay, I'm not gonna fight you on it. I have something to fight you on later. So
okay.
Bring it.
I'll be here.
Yeah, that's fine. But okay. You want to get dirty with these unders? Hey, it's what you got to do.
They cash all the same. You take that ticket to the window. You get cashed all the same. Hit me with your first play.
So we talked about those Chargers, and I think thus far this defense, sans Joey Bosa, has just proven to be very average to below average. If you want to look at any metric, they're in the bottom third from passing, defending the pass, defending the run. Now, some of that has to do with playing the Chiefs and the Rams in the first 4 games, but I want to give you the most disgusting stat I may have seen this season. Okay, this comes last week from San Francisco playing San Diego. San Francisco marched on a 21-play, 72-yard drive in the second quarter that took over 10 minutes. 21 plays.
That's mind-boggling.
That took over 10 minutes and 44 seconds. I don't know who that's more embarrassing for. San Francisco's offense or San Diego's defense. Or, sorry, San Diego. LA.
There you
Chargers. Go. Whatever. Who cares? Bottom line, it doesn't matter. It's a ridiculous stat.
Yeah.
It had to be the most. I mean, think about that. 10 minutes and it was 10 minutes and 44 seconds. That probably took an hour in real time of life. I'm glad I never saw 1 second of this. It makes me sick to think about it. So, I mean, look, this defense, I know they're supposed to be good, but sans Bosa, this is just proven to be very average at best. And look, I think right now the Chargers are just a team. They should not be laying 5 or 5.5 to anyone really, at least outside of 3 very bad teams in the NFL. The Raiders arguably could be 3-1. They've been in every game they played. And think about this. This is going to be a quasi home game for the Raiders, right? They're going to be infiltrated with Darth Vader and the Legion of Doom and Nation and all that crap. So they're going to be all over this place. And I think the Raiders here +5. I just don't think the Chargers should be minus that many points to anybody. So I like the Raiders. It's 5 right now, and I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think that's my play.
I think it's a great call. I think this is a field goal game either way. I don't think the Raiders are very good, but I don't think the Chargers are that great either. And they still have kicking issues. They actually changed their punter this week, but they've hit the same field goal kicker
Terrible.
who's not good. So I think this is a game where even if the Chargers are up a touchdown theoretically, they miss a couple extra points, maybe they miss a field goal. Who knows? I think the Raiders cover. 41-37, 36-30. So I think you cover that 5 points pretty easily. So I'm 100% with you.
I do think there will be high. I do think it'll be high scoring too.
Yes, I also agree. So the over might be an interesting look there. Maybe a little Raiders over parlay for those looking out there.
Parlay with your under. Parlay with your under.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little over, a little under, a little in between. I do want to mention that me and Aaron Marcotti do a 6-pack of NFL picks each and every week on Fake Pigskin, so make sure you check that out. I try to save one for the column, and that makes me go with another one here. It's this one. I'm kind of not sure how to feel about it. We've discussed kind of your expectations for the Packers not being as good as we kind of as kind of public perception. Now they are coming into Detroit with potentially no Devontae Adams, potentially no Randall Cobb, potentially no Geronimo Allison. And as we discussed on the DFS podcast, we do think this could be a nice spot for Aaron Jones. We could be a spot where they keep it close. They look to run the ball. We like Kerryon Johnson this week. I think your Detroit Lions get the W over the Green Bay Packers. The line opened at Packers -1. It has since gone down to Pick'em. And at Pick'em, I will take Detroit.
Whew. I will say, I have a rule I cannot go for or against because it's just I'm too close. So I'm not going to break my rule, but I don't. As far as picking the Lions in general, I don't hate it just because this would be very typical Lions for them to win this game. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, I don't love the Packers. I don't know what there is to like about them in general. Outside of AR-12, who obviously is not right. He's not anywhere near 100%. I think this is a spot where I think the Lions could win this game or have a good chance of winning this game. And so I don't hate the bet, but man, is that defense just so bad.
But I think the Packers is just as bad. And I think that Darius Slay is good enough where even if Devontae Adams plays, maybe he's the guy that shuts him down, and they play and they have a good game. So I like your Lions. I'm with you. As a Titans fan, I can never pick for or against them. It's just too hard. Games I think they're not going to be competitive in. They get blown out. Games or they do well and they might even win like last week. And games where I expect them to be competitive and kind of keep it close, they get really ugly and so I have no idea. I totally agree with you.
Titans are a perfect example. They're a mirror image of the AFC Lions. They're just a dumb team who doesn't win games they should and wins games they shouldn't, and it's just very, very no identity, very frustrating team. So
Yep. Okay, hit me with your second game.
So second game, I believe we went Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
We went first. So I'm gonna go. Look, this is probably fairly obvious, but look, Rams -7, right?
Yeah.
At Seattle, I've talked about Seattle. I don't think they're very good. Right now, KJ Wright has already been ruled out. Mm-hmm. We know Earl Thomas is out.
Yep.
Basically, this is Bobby Wagner, Frank Clark, and a bunch of guys who don't have any experience starting long term, or are just kind of marginal like defensive starters in this league. So I, you're going up against this Rams team who's been a juggernaut, and I don't see how they can slow them down. And they played them last year when they were a little bit more at full strength, and they blew them out also in Seattle last year. So I think at this point, I think the Rams are a team where you look at them. I think there's only a few games on their schedule, and I want you to play along with me a little bit, Kyle, as far as their schedule goes. I don't think there's only maybe 3 games where if they're single-digit favorites, I'm taking them every time.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, hey, I was gonna say I'm pulling up their schedule now, but yeah, it's hard to find games where you're not chomping at the bit to take them.
And here's just to name the games that I think are the most intriguing ones that where I see that they maybe could be in danger of losing. In November, you have at New Orleans, which is going to be, we all wish we could see that game this weekend. And then 2 weeks later, at home against Kansas City, which we're all going to love. And then I think a few weeks later at Chicago. Right now, those are the only games I can see them where I'd go, okay, maybe I'm going to kind of hold off a little bit. All the other games in between, I mean, they're playing teams that they're head and shoulders above. If they're laying anything less than double digits, they're just going to be part of my picks. I mean, why not? They've covered every game this year. Well, with the exception of maybe last week they pushed, but honestly, you talked about did you feel after that game started? I mean, they were blowing them out. The Vikings had no answer for them. So I think any game where they're playing a team that's not in their realm, less than double digits, I'm taking them. I think this is a week where it starts. I never liked Seattle this year. I don't think they have the horses, and I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah, I think that Rams Saints game could be an NFC Championship preview. Obviously, the Rams Chiefs could be a Super Bowl preview. The Eagles game intrigues me a little bit just because I think this Eagles team is one that could round into shape, and by the time they play them, maybe Wentz is back and kind of his thing. Obviously, we saw Jeffrey last week look really good. Maybe the defense gets a couple things figured out. Maybe that game is a little more competitive, but for the most part, I'm 100% with you. Normally in spots like this, I want to take the home team getting too many points. A little bit of a reaction because of what we've seen. But, we've talked about McVay in the past, and this is not a guy who, like most coaches, gets comfortable, slows down, takes his foot off the gas. He is full go. He is up 35. He's willing to run play action. He's throwing the ball down the field. He does not care. And so for that, I can get on board with this as well. I think, Seattle – we saw a little bit of a resurgence last week, but they're not facing the Cardinals. They're facing the Rams' vaunted defense, and this is definitely a situation where I'm gonna roll with you, and take those Rams. Now for the last game, we get to have a little fun because, like in a couple other spots we've done this season, we get to go heads up. I am going to take those Cincinnati Bengals minus 5.5 at home, and you are going to take the Miami Dolphins plus 5.5 on the road. I'll let you have the tea here, and then I'll react. Hit me with your thoughts and feelings towards Miami Dolphins.
Right, there is no tea. I mean, look, what is this like Cincinnati Bengal week? I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, so they won a game on the road against a secondary with a construction barrel and I don't know a lazy boy starting in the secondary, and so it's like, hey, all of a sudden they're good. You know what this is? This is Washington in week 2 is good all of a sudden, and they deserve to be 6-point favorites at home. And the bottom line is Cincinnati is outside of Arizona, Buffalo, and maybe in San Fran, they should not be laying a touchdown to anybody in this league. This is like, and especially with Miami, Miami. Look, I don't love Miami, but they're decent. They're in the same realm as Cincinnati. This is like that. This is it's like that that Spider-Man meme that everyone posts on you. This is the same thing. This is Cincinnati is Miami. Miami
Oh my
Cincinnati.
God, I would die if you did it.
Finkel is Ihorn. Ihorn is Finkel.
If you put the Bengals logo and the Redskins logo over the two heads and they were pointing at each other, oh man, that would have me rolling.
It's the same team.
That point it gives me. I get it. Yes. However, these are fraudulent Dolphins. They started 3-0. I know they look good. This line should be higher. They showed their true cards. They're on the road for a second straight week. Ryan Tannehill was benched for Brock Osweiler last week. That's how bad things got. Adam Gase thought Brock Osweiler was a good idea. And maybe it was just, let's get him out. Let's not worry about it. Let's move on. On Cincinnati, as Belichick would say. They're getting Joe Mixon back this week. They obviously have our boy Tyler Boyd, AJ Green, Andy Dalton's playing like an MVP candidate. I am all aboard the. Could you roll your eyes any harder?
This is recorded. Do you understand that? Do you understand this is recorded? Do not.
Hey, I'm all aboard the Bengals hype train. Maybe it derails in October or November, but I think this week they win. I think they win comfortably. I don't think the Dolphins' defense is good. I think their offense is very questionable at best. And if they get a few big plays, obviously it works out. But I think the Bengals play well and cover a touchdown plus.
Well, when Jakeem Grant is returning a punt for a touchdown and right on the sidelines, it's gonna be the Shane Bell sending to you and Aaron on Twitter. For your shameless, just this backing of the Bengals as this good team is disgusting. They're not good. They're just mediocre. They're just like the Dolphins. This line should be 3, and I'm going to look. I'm going to try to make you guys feel uncomfortable and bad on Twitter. I'm very excited.
I bring it. If it goes the way the week 2 went for the Redskins, absolutely worth. We're worthy of being dumped on. However, my Stephen A. Smith, be ready for it to come the other way, because when the Bengals rout them and it's 31-3 in the third quarter, your timeline is gonna be an abomination, my friend. Be ready. The memes are coming. It's going to be you pointing at the Redskins. It's going to be you and Skip Bayless. I don't know. I got so many ideas floating around my head. Just be ready for the barrage.
Not happening. Ryan Tannehill, Adam Gase are coming to the forefront.
Hitch your wagon to that. Go for it. Let me know how that works out for you.
Bengals, no business laying 6.5 at home. No business.
Well, we'll see. Okay, before we get out of here, obviously, I want to mention the show is now on Spotify. So if you have friends that can't get it on iTunes or big Spotify people, you prefer to listen to it on Spotify, or you missed a show on YouTube and you want to listen to it while you're driving, whatever, that's a great way to get to us. Bobby, I wanted to mention we both like college football. We both happen to dabble in that. Obviously, your college football DFS each and every week on Fake Pigskin is a great resource. I think if you're not playing and following along with Bobby, you're doing it wrong. That said, I have a game this week. My college football picks against the spread will be available on Fake Pigskin on Friday. So if you're catching this on Friday, they should be up. I have a game. I want to make sure everybody gets on board before the window closes. I love the Texas Longhorns getting a touchdown against Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout.
Wow.
Let me hit you with some facts. Tom Herman, as an underdog, is 11-1 since becoming a head coach, including 3 straight up wins in his last 3. This is a team, he beat Baker Mayfield in height of Baker Mayfield with the Houston Cougars. He had a game last year, I believe, with a very inferior Texas team that kept it close and covered with ease. I expect Herman to do the same this week. I think the defense is better. I think the offense can get some play calling done, and I think Texas. Now, I think if you want to get a little crazy, you could even sprinkle that money line, because Texas is going to keep this close and have a legit shot to win the game at the end.
Wow, Kyle, unlike that awful Bengals call, you have totally redeemed yourself, and I am convinced. Like that was very convincing with the Tom Herman stuff. I love that.
Yep.
And that's honestly probably if they're early games, that's gotta be the most exciting game in general for college football.
No, honestly, this weekend I think it might be, like, I look forward to this game every year, because even when one team's good, one team's bad, both are good. It's always a compelling watch. It's always fun. They play at the Texas State Fair in the Cotton Bowl. They have, the 50-50 split of fans. It's just incredible experience and incredible viewing. And with this weekend, obviously there is games that are very interesting, but I think this is my favorite game of the weekend by far.
And even for the Red River Shootout, I think right now I would say for Texas, this is a kind of a referendum game right now for Tom Herman. Like for this season, I would say they're actually they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
They've played well for their schedule for the most part, and now they're facing one of the top. I mean, that's a top 10 team in the country. However you slice it. So this is like, if you're a Texas fan and you want them to be back or whatever, this is one of those games. So I'm totally fired up, and I love the fact that you call him. And I think you're right. I talk about them in my DFS post a lot. I talk about Sam Ehlinger being a viable play, and also a very exciting freshman, Keontae Ingram, too. So, man, I'm very looking forward to this game. So, and I like your call, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, Bobby, this was a lot of fun as always. If you play DFS, especially if you play on DraftKings, make sure you are checking out the DraftKings show. Me and Bobby go 45 minutes with all of our favorite plays, all of favorite positions. We can do stacks, we do all that stuff. So make sure you check that out, as well as each and every Tuesday or Monday night I record. Usually with DJ Boyer, but I got some other guest hosts this week, so there's some great content on there. Like I said, go follow us on Spotify, subscribe on iTunes, follow the show on YouTube. However you want to digest it, please do so. Leave us questions, give us feedback. We're always here for that. But for the real Bobby Adcock, I'm Kyle Robert, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Good luck, guys.